tight on the nail as possible. At State Board, if you don't glue these on really, really good and they pop off, you don't have nothing to put the tip on. Because gluing a tip to this, you have to do a tip with blending. How are you going to blend it if there's no nail plate? See what I'm saying? You're blending it into the nail bed, and this is the bed of the nail underneath the nail plate, as if the client's nail has come off. Okay, so you gotta have these plastic tips on there. All right, we put these in here because they were in boxes, and every nail tech drops a box of tips at least once in their life. And I had to hire someone, as in a student's children, to come in and separate all these tips, because Miss Mary eyeballs can't see the numbers on these. So we had fresh 5-year-old eyes separating the tips. So that's why they're in bags. So please don't drop these. And if you do, it's just gonna be a pile of 4s on the floor rather than a pile of every shape or every size. See what I'm saying? So that's why they're in bags, y'all. We had them in boxes before. Not doing that no more. All right. So then go ahead and it's okay. For instance, this one's a little small because all the 2s are gone, because everybody used all the 2s, I guess, thinking that the 2s were all 5 fingers. Use whatever you can get on there, because we're trying to use these all up before I go by, because they don't sell them in just 2s. They sell them in a box of all sizes, and it's like they're $20 a bag, and we're gonna use what we got. So just go ahead and glue your tips on, okay? So that we can go ahead and do this this part. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you these. I know for sure these fit. It's like 1. I think this is a 1. This is a 3, and then another 3, and then 2 4s. But just size it to the best you can. We got the other tips over here, but I don't think that they're gonna fit so good. So do that. You must do this for State Board. You cannot come with a naked hand.
So this gonna be done before.
You got to do it before you go to State Board. And when I sell these kits to people, I sell them with the tips in there, and they got to glue them on, because guess what you're not going to do? Is blame me for your tips not being glued on right. Okay? So when I sell these, I sell them with the tips and the glue, so that you can glue your own tips on. Okay? Now, it ain't got to be perfect. Okay? So you guys should have, just grab a few out of there of each size, and then you can, because there's plenty of them.
I might use Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla Glue is the same as nail glue. Trust me, they're all the same. They're just in a different container. This nail glue ain't gonna be no joke. Trust me. Yeah, I think I did 4. And like I said, it don't have to be perfect fit. This is literally for practice. Okay, and when you go to State Board, just make sure you do the best you can getting them on there. Are we gonna wear nails at State Board?
No.
Please don't. Please don't. Don't wear no nails to State Board, because you are going to have. You see what I'm struggling over here? Not struggling, but imagine you got to put on a full set, or excuse me, a tip or a form, and you got 3-inch extendos on, trying to polish the nails, and every time you polish it, you messing up your tip and all that. It's a mess. Everybody comes in with their nails on, and then after they start the manicure, they end up with no nails on. Because they're like, you know what? I'm in nail school. I got too much to do with these hands to be wearing nails every day. Plus, you're going to play with your nails, you're going to mess them up, all that good stuff. Okay? So, this is what your hands should look like the best you can when you, after you're finished gluing your tips on. Now, let me tell y'all, you're going to remove this polish several times. And although polish remover is not pure acetone, it does have a little bit of acetone in it. So by the time you remove this polish, when you're practicing about 5 or 6 times, guess what? The nail is going to be a little melted, it's going to be a little ugly, and you're going to want to put new ones on. So, just so you guys know, this is something that we do. I don't want you guys to do this today. I want you to experience what it's like without this tape on here. What we do, once we do this a few times and do a few manicures, we take this hospital tape This is paper tape. Everybody know what paper tape is? It's that tape that's it feels like fabric. Okay, it's not cheap. But we take it and we put a little bit on the nail, the bare skin here, just like this, and then glue the tip on top of the paper tape. So that way, when it starts getting ugly, when it starts getting gummy, all you got to do is pull this and it'll pop off, and then you put more tape on and do it again. Soaking off nails on a plastic hand, yeah, the hand look a little stupid after a while. It like gets a little, from trying to put it in. You can, first of all, you can't really soak it off good because you can't put the hand in a little bowl. You can, you putting it with the foils is okay, but then the finger gets all funny looking because it done melted. This is plastic too, right? So I don't like for you guys to, I'm gonna show you how to do a soak off, but at the end of the day, we're not soaking off much of nothing on these plastic hands. We're gonna do what I like to call the paper guards, the tape guards, okay? So we'll do it for this time first so you guys can see, because this, I had a student got all the way through 600 hours and went to state board with the tape on her fingers. And I said, where have you been? Were you in class at all? Do not go to state board with the tape. That's just for in class. Everybody understand that? This is how your hand has to look for the state board, okay? Now, as soon as everybody is done with that, or get started with that, I'm going to go over this manicure with you guys. Shouldn't be hard to do once you guys find the little tips that you want to put on. Okay? Look crazy, don't it? Very. All right. Let me move this over just a little bit. So everything is in here. Now, what is the difference doing this versus a gel manicure? Right, the polish. What else about the steps? One thing I don't want you guys to do when you're doing gel manicures is put the hand in the water. Don't do it. Why? What did I tell you about water? It's absorbent, right? And it's gonna make the nail bigger. So if you think about what happens to gel polish, you know when it peels off all in one piece? A lot of times that happens over time because your nails, remember, it's expanding and going, so it's growing and it's getting shrinking and growing and shrinking. So if you put the hand in the water, the fingernail plate is going to expand, right? Then you're going to put on gel on top of this fat expanded nail, and then when the nail dries, what does the nail do? So now you got gel polish on top that's too big for the nail. So you guys, whenever you need this, they're in this bucket. Just keep in mind it says full coverage. The other ones are half well, or excuse me, full well. Those are for the tip with blending, okay? So those, we keep those in the back. So with your gel polish, if you do it with the water, you're gonna end up with the nail peeling in real life. It's gonna, cause it's like having shoes on that are too big. It's gonna flick off. Okay? So what do? We do a dry manicure. Same steps, same everything. Forget the water. If your client has cuticle that's on the nail that just can't get off, you're going to use your cuticle remover and your pusher, but no water. That's my recommendation to you if you're going to be doing gel manicures. These are the same steps, just no water, okay? Clip, file, shape, buff. Make sure you buff the tip, the nail plate so that it has a little bit, if it's so that it's etched, and it's, because remember, slick to slick, do not stick. With a gel manicure, you're going to have a base coat, right? Same as we have with a regular manicure. You're gonna have a gel top coat, right? Gel polish. That's the only difference. Got it? Only difference. You must do all the prep, pushing of the cuticle, removing all of that trash off of from underneath the nails and on top of the nails. Very important, okay? Or your gel polish is gonna peel. Okay? All right, so put all this stuff back here. So we've got our table set up. I'm going to actually do every single step of this manicure, okay, after the table's set up. Y'all, with the table set up, y'all remember you're gonna pull out your bags, wipe down the table. And what's the difference in this is what we're gonna do in real life when we have real clients sitting in front of us.
Take a move.
That's it, a real person. You need to clean off your table and you need to wipe it down. You need to, everything that, all of this stuff, are we going to throw it away when we're done? No. We're going to sanitize it with a wipe or take a wipe and clean everything that we touched, from our light to the table to our chair, that the chair the client sat in, right? Everything that the client touched. So that is why at State Board, they want you to do the whole thing, right? Gonna put on gloves. And when we do the next section, because I don't want to confuse you guys, we're gonna do a complete table, remove everything off this table and remove the polish. That is the third part of this manicure. There's the table setup, the manicure, and then the removal of the polish and cleaning of the table, getting ready for the next new client. Now, what did I say stays on this table at all times?
Lysol, the blood kit, and hand sanitizer.
All times. Okay? So, this over. Make sure you can see everything. Okay. Y'all can see, right? Everything that's supposed to be on this table, to include my hand sanitizer and my wipes. And my blood exposure procedure. At the end of this State Board, there is what's called the blood exposure procedure. Okay? At State Board, this is a whole section. They're going to read a script to you. And they're going to tell you that you cut your finger. What are you going to do? Now, when we practice it in classroom, I make you speak it. At State Board, remember what I said? You're going to pretend like you're a deaf mute, that you don't talk, because they're not going to talk to you, so you don't talk to them. Everything that we do is nonverbal, okay? So when you do this exposure procedure, you're going to just do it, and you have 5 minutes to do it, and they're going to do it individually. It's not a group thing where they want to know that you know if you cut yourself how it's done, okay? So let's go ahead and do the manicure. So I've set up my table. My table is all the way set up for me to get started. We did that section already. All right, I'm going to open this stuff and pour it. That's why I went on ahead and opened it. All right. Remember, you got to do 60 of these before you can graduate. All right. So they're going to read the script. And they're going to say, you got 20 minutes to do it. You may now begin. There's going to be a timer. You cannot wear watches, have your phones. You cannot have jewelry on when you go to State Board. You cannot wear bracelets. You can't have an Apple Watch. You can't have no timekeeping devices. If they catch you with it, you will be asked to leave. It's cheating. At 10 minutes, they're going to let you know, because remember I said it's 20 minutes. At 10 minutes, they're going to let you know that you have 10 minutes remaining. Where do you think you need to be? Remember I said that it takes 7 minutes to do it. But at State Board, I want you to take your time. I don't want you to rush through this. At what time, where do you think you need to be at 10 minutes?
Finishing.
I hope that you're still going a little bit, because I want you to take your time. But if you're not finished, you need to be polishing. If they say at 10, you have 10 minutes remaining, and you are still massaging, and you're still pushing cuticles, or you're still clipping nails, you are moving way too slow. You should be using that last 10 minutes to perfect your polish, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's the only time that they're going to give you a time and say you have 10 minutes remaining. If you're not starting the polish or in the middle of the polish, almost done, you're moving too slow. Because when you run into that 20 minutes, they're going to say, everybody stop. And I mean stop. If you don't stop, you failed. Okay? They don't play about it. It's cheating. And so, because somebody's going to say, well, they let her. Trust me. It happens every time. All right. So at 10 minutes, that's where you should be. So I implore you to time yourself. Only time I'm going to time you is when we do our state board practice. Okay? Other than that, set your clock, put it on 20 minutes or 10 minutes. And at 10 minutes, when your alarm goes off, start it over and you should be where? Either finished or polishing. Okay? Don't rush through this. Take your time. All right? So here we go. You have 10 minutes remaining. You may now, you have 20 minutes to complete this section. You may now begin. First thing I'm going to do, ladies. Don't you touch nothing until you sanitize your hands. So we're going to sanitize our hands and Sally's hands. Remember, she ain't a human, so don't put too much. All right? Sally been sanitized. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the polish. Next thing in the line. I'm going to open this up. Now you guys can mock this, but I'm going to open this up. I'm going to saturate the cotton ball, right? Remember, close your container. Close it. I'm going to take my polished cotton ball and I'm going to hold it down on the nail and I'm going to twerk it down, remember? I got nails on. This is how I remove polish when I got nails on. You take it, twerk it down. Look, I forgot to do on that pinky. That would be bad if I was at state board, right? Where does this go? Trash. Don't throw that in the trash. Don't want to mess up your bag. Throw it in the trash. Next thing I'm going to do is clip, file, shape. So I'm going to go in and I'm clip, clip, clip. Clip, clip, clip. Remember, I don't want to hear no pop, pop, pop. Y'all already got your nails on, right? And they're short. They don't want to hear that state board either because that means you didn't do your hand. Clip, 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 clip. Where does this go? To be disinfected. Next thing, file. One side, the other side. One side, the other side. One side here, other side. Left side, right side. Left side, right side. I don't want to see this. That's incorrect. Okay? And you can actually make this like you don't at state board just lightly rub it against there. Like that. Because your hand is already prepared. All right? Where does this go? Trash. Now, buff. Buff the top, buff the tip. Buff the top, buff the tip. Repeat. Okay? Oops. Okay, where does this go? Trash. Now I'm going to do what? Cuticles. So I'm going to take me some Q-tips. A Q-tip. You guys, there's refills for all this stuff in the back because you got to reset this bag and set everything back up because when we do our state board, I don't want you scrambling trying to get your bag back together. Right? Take your cuticle remover. Dip it in here. Put your top back on. Don't, because you're going to throw all this stuff in the bag and you don't want it to spill everywhere. We're going to put it right on the cuticle area. Right? Not on the PNF. On the cuticle area. Where does this go? Trash. Now I'm going to take my water and I'm going to actually put some water in here. So you can always just refill this water. Put the water in. Put it about halfway. Okay? Bloop, bloop, bloop. Splash. And I mean, don't put no whole bunch in there. This is for state board. Okay? And in real life, you don't need a whole lot either. I'm going to just be honest with you. I don't use a whole lot of soap and it's really not even that. You want a little bit of bubbles in there. When you set your client's water up, you're not going to have water on your table, are you? You're going to go to that bowl over there and put some water and some soap in there and let it bubble up a little bit, right? And it's going to be warm water, not cold water, right? It's all symbolic. So now I'm going to take my hand Put it in the water. Find the proctor. Look for it. Oh, hey, how you doing? All right, right? Then we're gonna take our brush and we're going to dip it in the water because at state board you're gonna have cuticle remover on there. And we're gonna brush it down to remove it off the nail plate. Okay? Where does this go? To be disinfected, right? Now, what's next? Cuticles are soft. We're going to push them back. We already put the remover on before we're in the water, right? Push them back. In real life, you may have some real hard cuticles down there stuck down. You may have to take a few minutes, right? But in this case, no real cuticles. We're going to flip it over and we're going to clean out from under her fingernails, from her free edge. Okay? Now where does this go? Trash. Now, what's next? What we got next in line, DeAsia? After the cuticle remover. Oil and lotion. So you don't have to do both. I don't like fooling with the oil. Okay, it's a little too much. Take this off. Put your little pap on there, not a lot, because this ain't no real person, right? Rub your hands together. All right, and what are we gonna do? 4 of them, right? We're gonna do our effleurage. Petrissage. Okay. Tapotement. Okay. And then friction. You can twist the fingers or you can hold it like this. Give it a nice little massage, right? So now we've got oily fingertips. What are we gonna do? Alcohol. I'm gonna take a cotton ball and we're going to remove the residue off of the fingertips, okay? I'm gonna saturate the cotton ball, okay? Put your top back on so you don't spill it. Now we're gonna remove the oil off of the nail. Okay, where does this go? Trash. Right. Now, I forgot to glue my little pinky on. Let me put that on real quick while I'm thinking about it because I do want to polish this. I want to show you guys the polish technique. When you're doing it with gel, it's totally different than when you're doing it with regular polish. So now, we've got all the oil off the nail. Base coat. Do yourself a favor and rest the client's hand on a bowl or on something. So you don't hold it up in the air and try to polish it like this. Because first of all, that's not anatomically correct, is it? Our client ain't gonna be like this. They're gonna be right in front of us. So rest it on your bowl so you can have something so you're not shaking, okay? There's a thing known as a fulcrum finger. Anybody know what that means? A fulcrum finger.
To place your, I guess, your balance.
Balance, yes. I see this often with new nail techs. They're like this. First of all, I've seen this too. How are you polishing like that? Hold the client's hand. What I normally do, it depends on when I'm wearing nails or not, because I'll rest it on my nail, I rest it on my fingernails. But you need to balance, okay? So this your ring fingers, right? What do we do on these ring fingers when we get married? Put rings on them, right? So it's these 2 fingers. They're in love, right? Let them kiss. Like this, all right? So hold the client's finger. Don't try to do 1 finger at a time. It ain't gonna work. Not on these plastic ones. Take your finger. We're gonna pick up the polish. Push away from yourself. Rest your finger and hold balance. 3 strokes. Middle, side, side. Okay? You can actually try this once you guys do the manicure, okay? This is what you're practicing. How to polish. Honestly, how to polish. This is the part that's like that you're going to do over and over again. When we're practicing in class, I don't expect you to go through every motion and remove not polish that ain't there. But once you do this over and over again, there will be polish on there. You are going to have to, it's like rinse and repeat. Okay? So now I've done that finger. I'm going to move to the next one. I've got long nails on, so it'll be a little different for me because I'm just going to rest it on my other finger. But it doesn't matter. I don't care which finger you use. I don't care if you use 3 fingers. But you got to balance because you are going to have a very rough polish job if you don't use a fulcrum finger. Okay? So we're going in, push away, go down the middle. Now the side, side. Okay? I'm going to do that again. Move to the next finger. Go in, the polish, push away, down the middle, side, side. Don't make this thick, doesn't need to be. It evaporates very quickly, base coat. Go in, push away. Again, fulcrum finger, side, middle, side, side. Turn the hand this way so you can hold the thumb. Middle, side, side. Close your polish bottle. Because all of this, there's a whole section. All of this has to go into a which bag when we clean this table off. Which one is it going in? Which bag? We got 3 bags down here. Which bag is this, all of this stuff? Because remember, we got to clean the table off. Only 3 things are going to stay on it. 4 things, I meant. Where all this? We don't throw our polish away, do we? So which of the 3 bags to be disinfected? So make sure you close these up because you're going to shove them into this bag when we're done with the manicure section.
So to be disinfected bag.
Yep, because is it a soiled linen?
No.
Is it trash? So there's only 3 places in
so
state
I
board
can keep it.
and in real life
Gotcha.
to be disinfected, because we may not put this in a to be disinfected bag, but we are absolutely going to disinfect it before we put it back on the shelf.
Because I was thinking again.
Right, and then you would have failed
Yeah.
for putting it in your clean container,
Gotcha.
because that's your clean container. So never, ever, ever put anything back into that bag. There's only 3 places it can go at state board, just like in real life.
Okay.
Okay? Never back in the clean bag. I'm glad you brought that up, though. Next section. This is one we can see. So we're going to open this up, and we're going to do the same exact thing. This time, going in, push away, get close to the cuticle without touching, down, side, side. Just that easy. I know I make it look easy. What do you do when you get polish on the skin? Do we wait until we're done, or do we get it off right then? Do it right then. Dry polish is a whole lot harder to remove than wet polish. Do not use your thumb. Do not use your fingernail. Do not scrape around like that. I know they do it. I know they do. That's it. Ooh, it irks me so bad. Your little nasty fingernail. You'll see they grow their fingernail out
And it be
long
hard,
just
too.
to
They
get around there and
scrape it
scrape
hard.
around your skin. That is gross. Do not do that. Okay? Don't do that state board either. So what are we going to do instead?
Q-tip.
Take a Q-tip. Here's a little tip. Take your polish remover and your Q-tip. Dip it in. Now, take your finger and make it smooth. Make it have a little tip, okay? Do not bring a polish remover brush to stay board, meaning a brush with a little, don't do that. You're gonna remove it the best you can off the skin if you get it on the skin. So much easier to remove. Now, you don't have to throw this away. because you may need it again. But just make sure you don't double dip. Okay? So, keep that beside you so you can use it if you need it. Next step, go in, push away, down the middle, side, side. Try to cover the entire nail. Okay? If you do more than 3 strokes, it's okay, ain't the end of the world. Just try to minimize the strokes because as it dries, it will be streaky. I got a little on the skin here. Let me get that off. Just like that. Okay? So we're going to do that. Repeat. Middle, side, side. I got a lot on the skin that time. So I'm going to go in. And if you don't get it all off the skin, it's still not the end of the world. Just as long as you don't have it everywhere. Remember what I told you, what they care about at the state board. Not this. Cleanliness, sanitation. Okay? Again, go in, get yourself a fulcrum finger. Down, down, down. What you miss on the first go round, you catch it on the second. Okay? Next one. Middle, side, side. Okay? See, I missed the part right there. Don't worry about it. We got 2 more coats to do. 1 more coat to do. Now, you see how I bumped this and now I got a little divot in there. You know why that happened? I wasn't paying attention and it hit this Q-tip bag. Not the end of the world. Don't remove it. Keep going. It's still wet. So that's one thing about lacquer is if this is still wet and I put another layer of wet, I can almost cover that up. Okay? So keep going. Middle. Look, can't even tell. Gel, it would have been hard. Side, side. What's going on? Uh-oh, there's popo outside. Middle, side, side. Okay? Traffic stop? Oh, okay. This is why you don't want nails on this state board. Middle, side, side. Clean up your mess. Get it off the skin. Middle, side, side. Middle, side, side. Okay? Be very careful. This is my tip to you guys. If you lay the hand down, don't lay it way back here. Make sure that the fingers are not touching anything. In other words, also when we turn our hand around this way, we don't want the fingers touching the cotton here. It'll ruin it. So make sure you balance it in a place where the fingertips are not going to touch anything. Okay? We're not done yet. We still got top coat to do. One thing about it, top coat will hide all your mistakes. Once you can't even tell that I nicked that one. Okay? So now we're going to top coat. This is the easiest part. Go in, push to, you don't need a whole lot. Don't have it dripping. Middle, side, side. Middle, side, side. So easy. Middle, side, side. Middle, side, side. Middle, side, side. And then turn it around. My advice to you, make sure everything is off your table before you turn your hand around, that there's no trash on the table, no extra anything left on the table before you turn the hand around, because they think you're done. And if you still got a piece of trash sitting there, like your Q-tip, when they walk by, you might get some points deducted, okay? Before you end and before you are finished completely, bust out one more hand sanitizer. Just do it for yourself. Not on Sally, do it on you. And then sit there patiently and watch everybody else scramble because you got it done in 7 minutes. Okay? Any questions about that?
What about this paper?
It's just there for in case you need it. I mean, some people will use it for, with they may bring something to remove the polish with, and they're going to pour something there instead. Everybody does it different. It's just one of the things they recommend, that you have a paper towel when you set up your table setup. But it ain't. You can, yes, you will throw it away because it is not a linen and it's not to be disinfected, so it's going to the trash when we do our table cleanup. Now, there's one more section to this. They're going to say, okay, everybody has indicated that they are finished. We will now proceed. I'm going to read this out to you guys when we do the state board practice, but if this doesn't sound familiar to you, it's because you did not watch the video that I put in y'all's mind tap for y'all to watch, okay? The next section, they're going to say, you now have 5 minutes to remove the polish and clean up your table to get ready for a new client. Now, you only need to sanitize. Remember I said you sanitize the first thing every time, all the time. Only with a new client. Is this the same client? Because you're going to be like, how? Yeah, it is. It's the same client. Right now. It's the same client. She still got the polish on. You only need to sanitize the client's hand when it's a new client. So because this is the same client, we're going to remove our polish off her nail. I do not need to try to sanitize her hands and get polish all over my hands trying to rub the hand sanitizer on her, okay? So now they're going to say you have 5 minutes to remove the polish and clean your table off in preparation for the next client, okay? This is what you're going to do. You're going to turn that hand around. You're going to take this, you're going to use what do you think you should do first? Remove the polish or clean off the table?
Remove the polish.
Please remove the polish first, because this is what happens all the time. Everybody's like, all right, I'm going to set Sally up like this, like she ain't a whole human. I'm going to move her hand out the way. And I'm going to take all this stuff off the table except what Miss Mary said, this, and this. And I'm going to throw everything away. And then they're like, oh my God, I don't have any cotton balls or any polish remover to remove the polish. You just messed all the way up, right? So 5 minutes to remove polish and clean off the table. That seems like it's not a lot. They're going to let you know at 3 minutes. You have 2 minutes remaining. What do you think you should be doing when they say 2 minutes remaining?
Turn the hand back around.
You should be done. But at the end of the day, it will not take you 3 minutes to remove this polish. But if it does, when they say you have 2 minutes remaining, if you're still removing polish, you need to speed it up. Okay? So, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take they're going to say you may now begin. You're going to take your cotton balls. And this time, you're going for real, saturate it. Because look what you got to remove. Red. Saturate. Don't use it all. Get as much on there as you can. Remember what I said? Cover the cotton ball. Set that to the side because you're going to need another one. All right? What did I tell you? Place, hold, twerk. All right? Lay it down. And twerk it down. Look at it. All the way gone. Ain't nothing there. Try to get it. If you get a little bit, there's a little bit left, just wipe it down one good time. That's it. Because you got to use this same hand to apply your tip, your sculpted form, and then you got to remove that sculpted nail. So you don't want a red, bloody finger looking like just red everywhere. Now watch this. One of y'all gonna do it. Look at that hand. Look at the finger. You don't want that. You want it to be clean. So we're gonna take it, place it on the nail, twerk it down. This happens to humans too. They got a cuticle area with a PNF and a nail fold and all that stuff, and you just rub and polish all in there. This is a dye or a pigment, so you don't want that. Turn it over. You might get away with just one cotton ball. Depends on you. Lay it on the nail. Pull down. All in one swipe. Okay, do the best you can. If you don't get it all off, go back over one more time. Next one. 3 minutes to do this. Did this look like it take 3 minutes? Nope. All right. Last one. Come down. Get off as much as you can. Where does this go? Trash. All right. So now we're going to go to town removing everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all my stuff here and I'm going to put it where? To be disinfected. Put it in the bag. This is when you're at the 2 minute section. Where did this go? Trash. You don't need it. You ain't going to disinfect it, are you? Nope. Trash. Where does this go? Trash. We can throw that in the trash. What about my soap? Disinfected. Now I got to worry about this right here. This right here goes in the trash. Where does this go? With water in it. Pour it into the towel. Where does this go? To be disinfected. Then you're going to take your linens. And it goes where? Soiled linen. And then we're going to sit here. We're going to look at our table. And we're going to turn our hand around and we're going to wait. That's it. That's the first part. Congratulations, you passed. Easy, right? Then the next section is a third bag that you guys do not have yet. You'll have it when we get to all that stuff. We're not there yet. Then you got to do everything all over again. You're going to do what? Disinfect the table. But the first thing we got to do, because our bag is in there with the closed bag, so we got to sanitize our hand, go in the bag, pull out that third bag, and guess what's in that third bag right at the top? A set of gloves. Because remember, you can't Miss Mary gonna set you up now. You can't touch these Lysol wipes without gloves on. So what are we gonna do? We sanitized our hands. Now make sure you close that bag. Sanitize our hands. Go in the bag, pull it out. Unzip the bag, pull out our gloves, and do it all over again. And set up our next table, because they're going to say, this is a new client. We're going to pretend Miss Sally left. We ip Stella now. Stiff Hand Stella's here with us now. Okay? So we're going to set up the table for our tip with blending. And there's a bag for that. All that goes on one section. Then we've got a section that is the sculpted nail. It's in a bag by itself. All that stuff goes in a little section. Because you're going to get 3 files in every one of them bags. One bag each has a file. If I give you one file, you're going to throw that file away and you need one to do the next one. So I set you up where you have everything you need in each section to include 3 more pushers, 3 more buffers, because you got to use a buffer to file a tip. You need a buffer to do your sculpted nail, and you need a buffer to remove that bad boy. So I set you up with those 3 different sections. Your job is to set your table up. You're going to have more towels rolled up, just like before. No manicure bowl this time. But now you're going to do each section separately as they do it for you. And then that's it. You're going to pass that state board and be out the door, right? Don't focus on that right now. Focus on just the manicure section and the table setup, okay? So what time is it? It's 2:30. Y'all got an hour. You should be able to bust out 2 or 3 manicures, maybe. Okay, you may not. I'm not gonna be mad at you if you don't. But that's it. I don't know how I got twisted like that. You see, spring. But that's what I want y'all to do for the last hour of the day, and that's it.
Go through the whole thing.
You can mock it. You don't even have to pour your water out. Okay, you don't even have to pour your water out. But that's what I want you to do today. Okay. Don't worry about your wipes. You can use those wipes for now because